Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Hey, how many of I think the hot yes. The old adage, don't judge a book by its cover, takes on a whole new meaning when faced with the cunning and deceit of criminal minds. These 30 extraordinary examples show how easily appearances can be deceiving. As lawbreakers use their wit and charm to outmaneuver the authorities, from daring escapes to creative moves, these true stories of criminals outsmarting the police will leave you questioning who's really in control. Get ready to have your mind blown by the creative and brazen tactics used by these criminals to evade justice. Here are 30 times criminals outsmarted the police and got away. Number 30, the Houdini Act. In a daring escape that would put even the most seasoned Houdini to shame, Quantrell Schwartzlow, a high school student, pulled off a daring escape from the Rock County Sheriff's Office in Janesville, leaving law enforcement stunned and scrambling. Just hours after being yanked from his classroom at Orfordville Parkview High School, the teen found himself in a police interview room, accused of strangulation. One would think that such confinement would have Schwartzlow cowering in fear, but he had other plans. As the detective stepped out of the room, the resourceful teen seized the opportunity, bursting through the blinds and launching himself out the window with Olympic-worthy precision. With a 12-foot drop to the ground, he showed no hesitation, landing with a thud and sprinting across the lawn like a deer. A second surveillance camera captured this heart-pumping action. 14 minutes later, the officer returned to an empty room with the window wide open, leaving the police officer in shock. Number 29. The slippery escape. Gerald Hyde, who was a 24-year-old mastermind as of 2015, proved that escaping from custody doesn't need some grand plan. Sometimes all it takes is a little creativity and a whole lot of nerve. Footage of Hyde's amazing escape was caught by surveillance cameras at Benton County Superior Court in Washington, where Hyde was in custody after being convicted of possessing methamphetamine. While being escorted out of the courtroom, Hyde slipped away when the guards momentarily turned their backs. The footage shows Hyde retreating backwards into the hallway, then sprinting through the courtroom. With his quick thinking and cunning move, he stripped off his jail-issued shirt to conceal his handcuffs and fled into the foyer. He abandoned his orange prison shoes and exited the courthouse wearing a white vest and jail-issued pants. All before anyone noticed, he was gone. The daring escape is like something straight out of a Hollywood movie. Okay. So maybe Hyde's escape wasn't the most elaborate, but you've got to give the guy points for style and sheer audacity. And who knows, maybe he'd have gotten away with it if he hadn't been caught a few hours later. Number 28, the Dodger. In a heart-stopping, action-packed drama, a Nigerian man pulled off a daring escape from police custody in Mumbai, India, leaving law enforcement officials dumbfounded. The high-stakes raid, conducted by Navi Mumbai police, targeted the emerging drug mafia in Ulway Sector 24. But just as the authorities thought they had found their suspect, the man made a lightning-fast break for freedom, slipping out of a police officer's grasp with the speed of a cheetah, outmaneuvering his pursuers with incredible agility and intense speed. One officer was left eating dust, literally, as he tumbled to the ground in a desperate attempt to catch the elusive fugitive. The chaotic chase continued, with officers fanning out in all directions, but the accused remained one step ahead, vanishing into thin air like a ghost. The thrilling escape has left the police baffled, wondering how he managed to pull off such a daring feat. Number 27. Young Rider. Police officers, determined to tame the city's reckless driving epidemic, spotted a young bike driver recklessly pushing the limits of speed. With loud shouts of, "Halt and pull over," the officers gave chase, determined to bring the daredevil to justice. But the young driver, fueled by adrenaline and a need for speed, expertly maneuvering his bike through the city's road, leaving the pursuing officers behind. The police, armed with batons and a determination to teach the young driver a lesson, repeatedly tried to close the gap. But the driver's lightning-fast reflexes and razor-sharp skills kept him tantalizingly out of reach. The pursuit continued through the city, with the police officers still tailing the young driver. Thinking he had outsmarted the law, he kept speeding off. As the police finally caught up to him with a final burst of speed, the officers cornered him, bringing an end to the thrilling chase, who had vowed to bring order to the city's chaotic streets. Number 26, the trial that went haywire. Nicholas Garrison, a then 33-year-old convicted drug offender as of 2020, dodged justice and fled a Highland County courtroom in a high-stakes bid for freedom, moments after being sentenced to a year behind bars and slapped with a $2,500 fine for aggravated methamphetamine possession. Garrison made his move, bursting free from a bailiff's grasp and sprinting through the courthouse like a man possessed. With a posse of determined officers hot on his heels, Garrison defied the odds, using his high speed and desperation to outrun his pursuers and leave a trail of chaos in his wake before finally reaching the stairs and disappearing from sight. In a stunning display of athleticism, a Highland County deputy dove headfirst over a railing in a desperate attempt to catch the fleeing felon, only to crash into a wall and tumble to the bottom of the stairwell, suffering a concussion and 4 broken ribs in the process. Number 25, the perfect timing. Timing is everything when it comes to making a successful escape, and Michael Maldonado made use of this perfect opportunity that came his way. Like a scene straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster, Maldonado, seizing his opportunity, jumped from the back seat of the police car to the front and out the driver's side door. He slipped free from his restraints, dove under a closing door moments before it closed, and made a death-defying leap to freedom. With the closed door, officers couldn't catch Maldonado. It took some time for another door to unlock, and by the time the officers were able to get outside, Maldonado was already gone. The thrilling escape was captured on video by the Porter County Sheriff's Department, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats and wondering how he managed to pull off the impossible. Number 24, Joyride. A rebellious biker pushed the limits of speed and sanity on the Los Angeles freeway, leaving a trail of stunned motorists and bewildered police in his wake. With death-defying skills, he effortlessly soared over 100 miles per hour, brazenly running red lights and narrowly avoiding a catastrophic collision with a car. As if taunting his pursuers, the biker performed daring stunts, standing on his seat with nonchalant ease, showcasing his mastery of the bike. Some witnesses even claimed he snapped selfies and flipped off the officers, further fueling the chaos. The high-speed chase took a dramatic turn when the biker was cornered at a dead end. With a calm demeanor, he removed his helmet, inserted earbuds, and seemed to relish the moment until police officers approached. In a final act of defiance, he nearly ripped off their car door while driving away, performing another stunt on his move bar before finally surrendering, lying spread-eagled on the ground as officers trained their guns on him. In a stunning finale, the biker rode into a nearby gas station where police apprehended him, bringing an end to the thrilling chase. Number 23, the Spidey Sense. For the daring display of cunning and athleticism, Danilo Cavalcante, a murder suspect, pulled off an unbelievable escape from a maximum security Pennsylvania prison. This criminal did not only outsmart the police officer, but he pulled off one of the most amazing moves ever seen. With the stealth of a ninja and the agility of a parkour expert, Danilo scaled the walls of the maximum security Pennsylvania prison, exploiting a brief window of opportunity during recess. Thinking creatively, he employed an unconventional crab-walking technique to traverse 2 parallel walls, his hands and feet finding holds in the brick walls, ultimately reaching the roof undetected. By the time authorities realized he had escaped, Cavalcante was long gone, prompting a massive manhunt involving helicopters, drones, search dogs, and law enforcement officers in hot pursuit, scouring the surrounding landscape for any signs of him. Number 22, the Parachute Man. What more daring and ingenious way to evade the long arm of the law than to launch oneself off a bridge with a parachute strapped to one's back? A man caught the attention of police as he was seen looking down the edge of a bridge. The police officer, naturally intrigued by the suspicious man's act, stops the police cruiser to take a look at the situation. As the police officer's suspicious gaze locked onto him, the man became restless. His nerves were stretched taut like a bowstring, ready to snap at any moment. The police officer's pleas for the man to come down fell on deaf ears, as the man remained steadfast in his daring escape plan, steadfastly preparing his parachute for his getaway, utterly disregarding the officer's warnings and requests to descend back to solid ground. The police officer, careful not to aggravate the situation, decided to watch the man. Then, in a heart-stopping instant, he took the leap of faith, soaring into the sky like a bird in flight, leaving the stunned officer to watch in awe as the man soared into the horizon. Number 21. From fireworks to freeway frenzy. A reckless driver known as Molliac Davis led police on a wild goose chase through the city streets. The chaos began when Davis, behind the wheel of a Pontiac, allegedly fired shots, claiming kids had thrown fireworks at his vehicle. When ordered to exit, he refused and sped away, prompting a daring pursuit. He careened through red lights, executed a daring 360-degree spin on Grand Avenue, and collided with multiple vehicles, including a police car. Yet, miraculously, he managed to evade capture. The high-speed chase continued onto the highway, where Davis expertly weaved through traffic, leaving authorities in a desperate bid to keep up. After a tense 13 minutes, police made the difficult decision to terminate the pursuit, prioritizing public safety over the capture of Davis. Number 20. 2. Good friends. A daring escape sometimes requires double the brains and double the bravery, and a faithful friend can be the perfect partner in crime. Two friends turned a routine morning at Bradford Crown Court into a thrilling escape saga. When a 17-year-old convict made a bold break for freedom, his 21-year-old friend, identified as Callum Fittner, proved to be the perfect partner in crime. With the simple press of a button, Fittner activated an automatic door, clearing the path for his friend's great escape. As the 17-year-old and the police officers sprinted past security checkpoints, Fittner transformed from co-conspirator to cheerleader, urging his friend on with infectious enthusiasm. The teen's lightning-fast speed proved too much for the court security team, and they eventually gave up the cake. But one determined officer refused to give up the chase. The pursuit continued, with the officer hot on their heels, but at a slower pace. The unlikely duo's daring escape proved that the power of friendship and quick thinking can let you get away from police enforcement. Number 19. Unknown Mustang driver. During a high-speed pursuit, a cunning Mustang driver outwitted the Arkansas State Troopers with a daring display of driving prowess and strategic maneuvers. Evidently, the incident occurred on September 23, 2022. The shocking incident, captured on video, shows the driver pulling over for a routine traffic stop, only to engage in a friendly chat with Trooper Rand Lace and another officer. But when informed of an outstanding warrant, the driver suddenly smoked the tires and left the officers in a cloud of dust. The pursuit was on, with the Ford Mustang speeding away at an alarming rate, its hazard lights flashing briefly before disappearing into the distance. Despite their best efforts, the police cruiser struggled to keep up, and the driver vanished from sight within mere seconds. The chase was eventually called off, leaving many questions unanswered. The identity of the driver, what happened to them after the chase, or whether or not they're still evading law enforcement. Number 18. The miraculous recovery. Sometimes evading the law requires meticulous planning and a convincing act. Joel Sanchez Delgado masterminded his escape weeks in advance, feigning a broken neck during his arrest to lull police into a false sense of caution and making them believe he was as fragile as glass. But little did they know, Joel was just biding his time, waiting for the perfect moment to make his move. As he was escorted to a Little Rock court for a drug trafficking hearing, he burst out of his wheelchair like a cheetah on steroids, leaving the bewildered police officer awestruck. His miraculous recovery caught them off guard, allowing him to make a daring escape. For someone confined to a wheelchair, Joel sure can run. His daring escape was the ultimate magic trick. Now you see him, now you don't. Joel's ingenious plan and impressive footwork proved that even the most unlikely person can pull off a daring escape. Number 17. Midnight motorcycle mayhem. In the dead of night on June 24, 2023, a reckless motorcyclist in Holman caught the eye of a vigilant police officer on patrol. The officer's curiosity was piqued, and a quick check revealed that the young rider, 19-year-old Isaac, was not only driving without a helmet, but also defying a nighttime driving ban. As the officer initiated a traffic stop, Isaac made a fearless decision to flee, sparking a high-stakes chase through the darkness. With his motorcycle screeching and tires burning, Isaac desperately tried to outrun the law, but his luck ran out when he lost control, steering into the grass, and his bike spun out and crashed. Forced to abandon his vehicle, Isaac took to his feet, vanishing into the night. Despite a massive search effort involving multiple agencies,